Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. A bit dazed this morning. Sorry about that. Tired, still tired. Slept hard, but that was probably the problem. I slept too hard. Um, Hope everyone's doing well. Um, I have one very annoying character floating around my room today, and he cannot stay still enough for me to smack him. So if you see me turn the camera off, it's because I'm going to smack him and hopefully kill him deader than a doornail. That'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. So, what we're going to talk about today um, was the running narrative that apparently is all the rage now of Jesus being black or Jesus being white. And whether or not that's of any value at all. Now, I'm going to first give you my belief on the topic. And when I give my belief on the topic, then I'll go into why. Okay. So the Bible has been very clear on a lot of things that matter to our spiritual walk. It seems utterly succinct when it comes to God's sacrifice, to the life of Jesus, to the things he said, the people he had in his company, what we're supposed to do, how we are supposed to behave. It's very succinct, like really succinct. There are details in the book that are like to the T. Okay. If you look at Revelation, it is littered. You might call it imagery and metaphors or what, but it is detailed. So, of all the things, heck, it even went in to tell you about certain people's features. Okay. Isaiah described him a little bit. So the Bible is not adverse to giving detailed information. It never once, though, gave a visual identifier to his people. It gave bloodline, it gave descendants, it gave regions, never gave a marker about how his people looked. And I find it odd that with all the emphasis being placed on the white or black issue, that even God didn't say all that. He himself never took the time to clarify that. If it were that big of a deal to where it would come down to one specific color dominating the other, simply out of color, he would have said. He would have said. Mankind, however, in an effort to feel special, in an effort to feel wanted, and in an effort to feel better than someone else, created this illusion that color mattered. Even went so far as to have taken scripture and say, see, look in this chapter, it says he's black. Now, look, I understand that the running theme is that white people took the Bible and did this. Hear me out. If black people were the original chosen people, and God said his word will endure forever, why would God allow the devil to take his word and publish it? Why would God allow the devil to take his word and publish it? Just wondering. He said his word would endure forever. Okay. So with that being said, let's take a look at the passage that all of the so-called people that follow this mindset love to bring up. Shall we? So first we're going to go to the um, the King James. I'm going to go through three different translations. Let's go to the King James, shall we? And I I know, Joyce. I I know. It was me being facetious because they said the white man is the devil, and he was the one that was behind the Christian. Anyway, whatever. Facetious. Let's go here first. Now, I want you to understand. First, let me take it down real quick. I want you to understand something. I'm very keen on what something says. Like I said, I'm not a scholar. I'm not the brightest bulb in the pack. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. I might be a couple of bricks short of a wall. But like Forrest Gump says, I do know love when I see it. Okay. So if it says something, it must be true. Or if it's not true, then you have to throw the whole book out. If what you say about the book being done in by certain people, then maybe you're reading what you're reading because you're wrong. And how can you know it's right? I'm going with what I know to be true. The book is what it is. So Earl, how can you change something you don't know? Let me ask you that. How do you know they changed anything? You don't know what color Jesus was. Nobody knows. So how do you know they changed anything? What do you mean changed? Certain groups of people took an individual, painted that individual, and took it to represent Christ. Ain't nobody on earth stupid enough to believe that that was Jesus. Like literally nobody. Nobody would be dumb enough to think Jesus posed for a picture. It's a representation, and a poor one, obviously, because nobody knows what he looked like. Shade, hue, color, none of it. Nobody knows, so you can't change. You can only represent in the way you want to represent him. And besides, you're not supposed to anyway, white or black. You're not supposed to make the image anyway. So you can't change something you don't know. Cannot change it. Verse 14, Revelation 1. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame. His feet were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. This is the verse many used to say, see, wool for his hair, burnished bronze for his feet. It's a black guy. Is it though? Black people have white heads and hair? Not even white people got white head and hair. You got to be albino to have those things. You have to be an albino to have a white hair and a white head. As for the feet, as for the feet, it says, unto fine brass, as if burned in a furnace. Not after it's been cooled, as if it's been burned in a furnace. The majority of metals and ore that burn in a furnace are a glowing yellow to white to gold, not black. Even after it comes out, it varies from a almost gold to super duper black. And it depends on the quality of bronze, how much defects you got out of it, how clean you got the burn. Hundreds of reasons could make the brass and bronze look completely different from cooling to heating. But if I were to go based on the definitions and what he's talked about and the area of this whole thing that he saw, we're talking about a blazing white hair, blazing white face. I would have to go with the fact that the feet are not just super dark, but they're as if they were burned in a furnace, meaning they were still glowing as though burned in a furnace. I would have to go with that concept, not cooled and black. So let's see what the New King James Version says. 14. His head and hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like fine brass, as if refined in a furnace. Still, nothing black about that. How about one of the more contemporary ones? Let's go with the New Living Translation. 14. His head and hair were white as white as snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire, his feet like polished bronze refined in a furnace. None of these descriptors, especially that first wool one, described texture. It all described color. So don't tell me that the wool is of black hair or it's of white hair because it's white. It's simply the color. If you know anything, even if it was to go with gray, we all age. White people and black people and Hispanic people. So don't bring me no verse in the Bible telling me that God was white or God was black, or Jesus was white or Jesus was black, or this guy was white or this guy was. I have yet to see any proof that it matters, first of all. It doesn't matter. We are not looking at the person anyway. You want to know how I know it doesn't matter? Because at the end of his walk on this earth, Jesus was unrecognizable. Anyone who had not heard about him before but came to his crucifixion couldn't tell you what race he was. They couldn't tell you anything about the man, Jesus, during his walk up to crucifixion. You couldn't recognize the man. Have any of you been beaten, like really beaten, like beaten up, beaten? And trust me, black people bruise, okay? We bruise too. You ever get a cut, a deep gash somewhere on your body? You ever watch and see what coloration happens on the outside of that wound? Now imagine having a wound on your body every inch and a half. Imagine having a wound so deep that you can see inside my body every inch and a half. Imagine having my face so swollen that not even facial features were recognizable. Then imagine having blood streaming down the entirety of my face for having my head knocked open and blood streaming from holes from thorns down my face. Now tell me you could recognize me. Tell me where in all of that did they emphasize, say, mention anything about his so-called race. This entire nonsense that we want to push about the value of his color. For those of you that want to know whether or not he was white or black, for those of you that think it matters that he was white or black, you're dumb. You're dumb if you think that the color of Jesus' skin and the color of his people matter. You are dumb. I'm going to say it to your face right now. All you BHIs and you stupid pro-black dummies and you pro-white dummies, if you think the color of his skin matters, you are dumb. Dumber than a box of rocks. And I hope you continue down that path. Please continue to think that your skin color puts you in any proper place above anyone else. Keep thinking that. Keep thinking that the way you look matters to anyone but yourself. Keep thinking that somehow you possess some great place in the universe because you're black or because you're white. Keep being stupid. That's on you. Keep being full of yourself. Keep thinking that for some reason, you because you are a black person or you because you're a white person gonna have some grandiose scheme in place for you at the end of all time where you're gonna be the top dog because of your skin color. You're God then. That's the only reason you want that to matter, because you want to be God. And I cannot wait to see you get smitten. Burned to a chaff. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see when you stand there and just evaporate. I cannot wait to see that. Because of your stupidity and your ignorance. And that goes for both, all sides that think somehow that whether you're white or you're black, you matter more than the other person. You're still going to burn in hell with the same Negro and the same cracker next to you. You're both going to burn because you value your skin more than your soul. All of you are going to burn. So you better learn to get along now with each other because you're going to be spending eternity in hell with each other. Both sides are retards. One side just has a louder mouth right now. The other side had their say some time ago. We are kings and we are queens. Putting yourself in some sort of place that God never put you, but you think you're worth something because your skin color is this. And if my skin color is this and it matters, it must mean that God and Jesus are the same color as me. So you can feel what? More valuable? You're worthless. You are worthless. This ridiculous divide that people are trying to create. One of two things have to be true. Either God created Adam and Eve, or he created Adam, Eve, and a whole myriad of people same time. And if he did create Adam and Eve, like it says, they were the first, then everybody is the same. Now they bring up this whole Esau and Jacob thing. Okay? One particular clown in my comment section brought that up. I had to block her because she's a flaming racist. I had to make sure I removed her. So let us go now to that particular passage, shall we? Since I know they're going to be coming in for this one. Let's talk about it. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord answered her prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb." And in come the morons, the clowns, the idiots, who love to harp on dumb things and will say, "See, two nations, white and black." Did you know that there are multiple nations within certain countries and they all look the same? Just just a thought for you to put out there. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. In fact, let me just finish the one before. There are two nations in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. And in case you're wondering, people, he still did not mean race. They're two different lineages, as with any family. Usually families stick together, though. In this one, they're not going to stick together. I don't know how this is difficult for people to get. They were of the same blood. And in case people lost something, in case people lost something, when you have the same mom and the same dad, regardless of what the kids look like, they're the same blood. They're not separated by blood. They may look different and behave different and act different and move on to different things, but they're still blood. In case some idiot out there missed it, they're of the same lineage. I I mean, I know that you want to put your stupid bias on stuff and your moronic reasoning on things, but logic doesn't kowtow to stupidity. I hope you understand that. Logic does not have to bend its will to your stupidity. Just because you want to be dumb does not mean everybody else has to follow you in your clownish behavior. You want to consider yourself a king and wear stupid robes walking around the place like you just got up? Feel free. And that goes for the both of you. In case you don't know, the BHI and the KKK ain't much different. The two of them dress up like clowns and walk the street and preach hate. Both of them are the same people. They're the same people. So as much as you want to separate yourself from Jacob and Esau, you're the same family. You're both clowns. The only thing missing from either of you is the makeup. That's it. Both of you are bozos. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. Twins. Okay. So one looked like the other. The first came out was red, and his whole body was hairy as a garment. And they named him Esau. Now, I don't know how many of you understand that there are black people and there are white people that can have red hair. And I don't mean a redhead. My daughter, her hair is almost at points this flaming red in sections and then dark brown in others. Have you ever seen a hairy black man? They exist in case you don't know. You ever seen a hairy white man? They exist in case you didn't know. You ever seen a hairy man? Period. They exist in case you didn't know. Did they say his skin was anything about his skin? I'm just wondering if they said anything about his skin. Did they mention Esau's skin? Anyone? Did you see any mention of Esau's skin color? Anyone in the audience did you see in that? Are you looking at it? Let me zoom in a little more. Maybe people need to see it a little clearer. Anybody see any mention of skin? No? No, me neither. That's weird. I don't see skin either. That's kind of crazy to me that there's no skin. But that's the first thing clowns take. Oh, his hair's red. It must be white because you a dummy. You're the racist. Don't you see that? You are the racist. You aren't exactly the same as the person you say you dislike. You're just trying to take it to a religious level, which makes you twice as bad. After this, his brother came out and his hand grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. You know what they're gonna say, too. I bet you. I haven't heard them, but I bet you someone will say, "You see, that's why black men love their mama so much, and you see, that's why white men always go out in the country." And then the white man gonna say, That's why we like to hunt. We like the papas in the family. Both of y'all are stupid. Both of y'all are dumb. Case in point, my eldest plays basketball. He's good at basketball. My middle one plays no sports. He likes jujitsu. He's really good at jujitsu, but he doesn't want to do jujitsu. He likes bass guitar. He loves his bass guitar. Got him an amp. Got a man, plays his guitar. My younger one, my 12-year-old, he likes football and basketball, and he plays an instrument. My very youngest is in love with music. Mind you, they are all of the same family, but they will all go different routes in life. Still blood. They each took to something else. Me and my family, my sisters, we had a moment where we grew apart. We went our separate ways and we didn't speak. We became two separate nations for a while there. I didn't know what she was doing. She didn't know what I was doing. I multiplied. She multiplied. Same lineage, same mom, same dad. Lineage, choice, decisions. We didn't speak because of myriad of reasons, too many to go into. I have apologized since then for my distancing. So we're okay now. My point in all of that was this: when you start to nitpick things that don't matter to your salvation, you're going to miss it. And I mean your salvation. Because people will take this whole nonsense and they will go all out to prove that this particular people are the only people saved. In fact, I screenshotted it. I did. I screenshotted it. I just remembered that I screenshotted it. So you know what I have to do now? I have to bring it up. I have to bring it up. Let me share this real quick with myself. Because you have to see this. Mostly to believe it. You have to see this to believe it. Many of you might have already encountered someone like this. But in case you have not, in case you haven't, let's do this. I'll make sure I bring it up here. Download that, and download that. All right, so let's go. 1, I'm coming. Just give me a second here. 2 and 3. All right. Let's grab this one here. This is the first one. Okay? This is the first. And maybe you guys may know this individual. Maybe you don't. Valerie Bowman. I have since blocked her on Facebook because I don't deal with clowns and I don't deal with racists. Yahawasha was black. And then she gave that verse. And I said, nothing about that verse says he is black, like zero. If his feet were like brass and it was burned in fire, what color is that? Blue? I said, burnished brass is closer to gold, not black. Now, listen, it's cool that you don't and won't believe that, but I do, and that is the truth. Say what you want, but when the great day comes and the sky cracks open, let me make sure I get the rest of it here. Make sure I grab the rest of it because you need to read what it says. And the sky crack open, you will see, but it will be too late. You don't have to agree with me, and I don't agree with you. It's all good. I put it out there like I'm supposed to. Enjoy your evening. In other words, if I don't believe that Jesus was black, I am going to hell. If I don't believe that Jesus was black, I am going to hell. Not if I don't believe that Jesus came to die for my sins. If I don't believe he was black, I could believe everything else, but if he ain't black in my mind, hell. Okay, I'm good with that. So, of course, the me came out. Myself came out. I told her I never asked for an agreement. I know, but I had to say it. Be blessed, and I'm sure my salvation rests on him being black and me believing that. Salvation is for his people that were set apart from other nations, the people that he cursed in Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. No, some of these people, some of these people um, are some of the weirdest, most oddball folk you can think of. And they're out there. So let's do it. Let's do her a favor and read this curse, shall we? Let's read this so-called curse that says her people are cursed. Like I said, I'm going to get to the bottom of all of this and make sure no one has any questions anymore for me. And if you still follow after this point in terms of the podcast, then you've gotten it. And if you decide to leave, I'm happy that you are deciding to leave. If this is the reason you're leaving, it's a perfect weeding out opportunity, which is why I'm harping so hard on this. But it shall come to pass, if you do not obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all his commandments and his statutes which I have commanded you today, that all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. Who's he talking to? Oh, Israel. Oh, that's right. Mm, okay. So that again, there are multiple people in, but hey, who cares about that, right? All right. Cursed you shall be in the city, and cursed you shall be in the country. Cursed you shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed shall be the fruit of your body and produce of your land, and increase your cattle and offspring and flocks. Cursed you shall be when you come in, and cursed you shall be when you go out. The Lord will send you cursing, confusion, and rebuke in all that you set your hand to do until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly because of the wickedness of your doing in which you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the plague cling to you until you are consumed from the land which you are going to go possess. Oh, you're going to go possess a land. Hmm. The land will strike you with consumption and fever and inflammation, with severe fever, with sword, scorching, and mildew. They will pursue you until you perish, and your heavens, which are over your head, shall be bronze, and the earth under your feet shall be iron. And, they take that to be the slave ships and all that nonsense, just in case you're wondering. The Lord will change the rain of your land to powder and dust, and the heaven it shall come down on you until you are destroyed. The Lord will curse you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and you shall become troublesome to all the kingdoms of the earth. If anything were true, and Your carcasses shall be food for the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and no one shall frighten them away. The Lord will strike you with boils of Egypt and tumors and scab with the itch, and with which you cannot be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness and blindness and confusion of heart, and you shall grope at the noonday as a blind man gropes in darkness. You shall not prosper in your ways. You shall only be oppressed and plundered continually, and no one shall save you. Yet still you're asking to be saved. And if the Lord is the one that's going to save you, maybe you don't need to do anything. You shall betroth the wife, but another man shall lie with her. You shall build house, and then, of course, they all link this to slavery, because only in America did this happen. Apparently, this whole thing has to do with a prophecy over America. Anyway, um, but you get the point. They go on about how many curses you will be an alien among you, and curses upon curse, 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 cursedy, curse, curse. I want you to continue thinking the way you think, because that's what you want to. So I want what you want. I want what you want. Continue to suffer. Continue to think you're cursed. Continue to live under the curse. If that's your people's calling, hey, have at it. Have at it. Go for gusto. Knock yourself out. What won't you forget, Tina? I'm curious. You said you're 54 now and you will never forget. What won't you forget? If you don't mind me asking. I'd really like to know what won't you forget? I'm really curious about that. In any case, I'll wait to get that answer. When the new covenant was instituted and solidified and codified with the death of Jesus on the cross, the ultimate curse, the ultimate curse. You do know that demons manifest themselves into whatever one people want to think. Just saying. So, and it says no one has seen him. So if you've seen him, good luck on that's good for you. Anyway, um, when that new covenant was instituted, the curse on man from the fall, which was the ultimate curse of separation from God in your soul, that was lifted. And I keep trying to tell people the entirety of the lineage was and still is an archetype of the mercy that God wanted to show to all mankind. But not all mankind would be obedient. Not all mankind would accept the gift the exact same way not all mankind that were part of Israel wanted to leave Egypt. There were scores that did not want to leave. Even going through all of the plagues, they didn't want to leave. Even on their way out, they wanted to go back. They had zero desire for the grace of God, for his salvation, for his provision, for his way out. When that cross came, every fulfillment of sacrifice, every fulfillment of distance closing, all of it was met and codified at that moment. When he rose, He rose to bring his people fully into unison with him once again. Right standing, garden esque behavior. And just like the serpent to do what he normally does, here he comes in. Was Jesus white? Was Jesus black? Are you chosen because you're black? Are you chosen because you're white? Are you the superior one? I bet you are. I mean, look at him. You know that people over there looked a certain way, right? They all look the same, right? That's not racist. They all look the same. Every last one of them had the same shade. But not everyone's going to get it. And that's completely fine. I think we need to understand that we should be okay with that. You know why we should be okay with that? We should be okay with that because they're okay with that. They are okay with it. We ought to be okay because they are. If you, right now, today, don't want the salvation that the Bible talks about, fine. You want to create your own salvation based on something else? Fine. I have no problem with that. Have at it. Go for it. I support you in your decision to buy a different type of ticket. Feel free. But if you take what he says for what he says and only what he says, you will not have that division among you. The instant you can consider something you possess worth saving, you have lost the value of the cross. The minute you believe that you in your fallen state has any value to the kingdom because of it in its state, you have a problem. You have a problem because you don't need salvation then. If by birth, listen carefully, if by just being born, you're good with God, you don't need to do anything else, right? Go tell him that then. Go tell him that. As for me, as for me, I am going to be part of the household of the body of Christ. Plain and simple. And I am not identified by any other color but red. That's it. Red. My skin is not going to be saved. My flesh is not going to be saved. My soul is. My soul is. I don't need to identify by color, because it will be burned up anyway. It will die, it will become dust. It will end. It will end. All right. I'm not dealing with this fool. I'm not even going to address you. um, we have to start prioritizing what God prioritized. And what God prioritized was his son, ushering in a new covenant. A new covenant. Earl, I will let you figure that out. If you still want to think it's about black or nations, but think what you want, bro. I'm not trying to convince nobody no more. If you didn't get what I'm saying, then I don't know what to tell you. All right? Make your own journey. Figure it out yourself. Go find your tribe, whatever the hell you got to do. I don't care no more. Figure it out, bro. Figure it out. You want to keep harping on this nonsense about tribes and black and white, and if it's called race now, it's not. It was called tribes back. I don't care, bro. I don't care. I was born with this shade. It does not identify me. I am a son of God now. Point blank, period. I am not an Israelite. I'm not a member of any damn tribe. I am simply a child of God. That's it. That's all. Point blank, period. Nothing else to discuss. He gave me a method to operate by. He called me from a position of being lost, not following him, hating God. He called me from that. I listened. I accepted his son's life into my life. I am now with him. That is all that matters. That's all that matters. Anything else past that is absolute worthless garbage that I don't need. I don't need it. I have one mission on this earth. One. Following him. That's my number one mission. Follow him. That's everyone's mission. If you don't want that mission, don't sign up. Don't sign up. And if you think you have some sort of value because of some tribe you belong to, feel free to do that. If you can trace yourself back to some tribe, go for it. Go for it. Go ahead and value man's bloodline more than Christ's. Go ahead. Go ahead and value man's lineage over Christ's lineage. Go ahead. Go ahead and take the lineage based on man's line and live that out. Go ahead and live that out the best you want. Me, I will take the one that God can see me in, which is Christ's bloodline. I am going to be much happier, much more content in the blood of Christ and having God see me than trying to find my way through this earth in some man's bloodline, some man's lineage, and in this particular. I don't want no part of that. I want zero part of that. It was used for a very specific question. It was used to usher in Christ on earth. From that moment on, the transition from man to God happened. The transition from a bloodline of earthly meaning to a bloodline of heavenly meaning happened. We were grafted in to his people. We were grafted into his people because we became his bloodline. We are his tribe. We're his bloodline. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. I am part of his bloodline. All others don't care about him. Don't care. I do not care. You know, if God cares, you know what he'll do? Save them. You know what he's called me to do? Follow the new covenant. And you know what else? Hear me. Here's this crazy part to me. It may not be for you. Here's what I believe. If I, in all of this, in my entire walk, I get it wrong, and I was supposed to be following some sort of a bloodline back all the way to Isaac and Jacob and all them people, and I'm supposed to have been following. You know who still will decide my fate? God. And you know what? If he decides that hell is my place, you know what I can't do? Change it. You know why? Because he's God. And he'll honor himself first. And that is why I follow him. Not only did he save me, but he's true to himself. And whatever he does, he's just in it. And if whatever he does is he's just in it, I have no place to argue with it. But as for me, I am going to do what I have been doing, and I've seen enough from him. I've heard enough from him to not have any doubts. But if, if for some strange reason I should have been looking at myself through this lens, he'll decide. And I want nobody else deciding that. He's the one that's going to decide it. So people can go ahead and have their arguments about who's the better race and who's the better tribe and who's the better people and who's the better this and the better. None of us are good. None of us. And I don't care whether Jesus was white or Jesus was black. I know the pictures floating around ain't him. Even the stupid picture of the black Jesus wants to look like the white Jesus. So please explain that one. Y'all have the same length beard on him. Y'all put a beard on him. You're still copying it. You just put a darker shade on it. See, being just as stupid. If Jesus wanted us to know what color he was, he'd have told us. If Jesus wanted us to know what color he was, he would have let us know. He is so specific about everything else, but for some reason, the one that's causing the most division, he's not going to tell you about. The one that apparently is the linchpin to all of this, he's not going to tell you about. He's going to leave it to you to just kind of vaguely fumble around to see what you might be right about. That's what he's going to do. You think God's that in particular? The detail-oriented being is the least detail-oriented when it comes to the most significant thing? That's what you want me to believe? Man, please. Get out of here with that stupidity. The God I served saved my soul, not my skin. The God I serve saves my soul, not my skin. And if you don't value your soul over your skin, Earl, again, you can have any damn problem you want, bro. Have any problem you want. You're the only one in the chat saying that people knew that Jesus was white. For years, people have been complaining that no one should have that picture up there. For years. For years, people have been complaining that that is not a picture of Jesus. Everybody knew that was Caesar. Everybody knew. Nobody in their right minds worshiped that picture. Fools worshiped that picture. And everybody knew that when you worship that white picture, it was blasphemy. Everybody knew that. No one has ever said from the pulpit that that was Jesus. Not a soul yet that I have ever heard said that. For years, the church have been denouncing that. Catholics are the only one that pushed that nonsense. Not a single church have I been to that they tell me that Jesus was white. Because nobody cares. Everybody wants to have their own colored God. It doesn't matter. If you lived in a bubble, that's on you, bro, but that's not on me. Not a soul that I have ever known growing up, not, and I mean nobody ever has accepted that that was Jesus. Not a soul. And I have been on this earth for 40 plus years. Not a person has ever said to me, hey, look, it's Jesus. Everybody knew who they were trying to tell us it represented, but nobody accepted that as Jesus. Not a soul. And the mere fact that you think that somehow this is about truth, how do you know which is truth? Are there white people that existed in that region? Are there family members who are black that gave birth to a white child? So you tell me how you're going to know the truth. How are you going to know what color Jesus was? I'll wait. How do you know Jesus wasn't white? How do you know? How do you know he wasn't white? And how do we know he wasn't black? How do we know anything about him? I'll wait. So tell me how you're going to know the truth. Please tell me. This ought to be really, I want you to tell me how in the world you're going to know what truth is when it comes to his skin color. I'll wait. I got to hear this answer. This ought to be the best answer. Please tell me how. You're not going to answer my question? Answer my question, Earl. How you going to know the truth? I'll wait. Still waiting. Nothing. How are you going to know that Jesus was black? Why should I care? Why should I care? And if you consider race the new tribe, why should I care? I'm still waiting on the answer. How you gonna figure out truth? Earl, Earl, you got one more chance to answer my question. You literally have one more, just one more. I'm only giving you one more shot to answer my question. You said truth matters. How are you going to know the truth? Just answer my question, please. All right. So I see I ain't gonna get an answer out of you. That's a first. That's a first. That's a first. I will say this. This is the last time I'm gonna say it. Color don't matter to me, like at all. Tribe don't matter to me, like at all. It don't matter to me. It don't. I may look like some people, but I'm not those people. I go by a different identifier, a different marker, and it's red. It ain't this. My God saved my soul and made me a part of his family. And he grafted me in. He grafted me in. So whether or not I followed my lineage all the way back to a cursed people, the first curse ever planted on man was redeemed off of me by the blood of Jesus. And since that happened, I was grafted into his new lineage, his new lineage, the true lineage, the one by blood that any and all can be part of. Any and all. But if someone out there has a deeper connection with God because of history and want to bypass the blood, good luck with that. Make sure you follow every article of the law or be punished. If you have a different route that you want to take for your salvation, have at it. If you want to investigate your color, your lineage, all that BS, have at it. Feel free. Take your time. Go on. Don't care. Don't really. I really. There is no lower level of uncaring that I can have towards that. I can't go any lower of not caring. I have a spiritual walk to do, and it has nothing to do with my history. It has everything to do with his. It has everything to do with his. Then enjoy slavery, Caesar. Enjoy slavery. As for me, this person here, I do not, could not care any less about the color or the tribe. Don't care. I don't want to hear anything more about black and white. I don't want to hear anything more about my people. I don't care about it. Do not talk to me about it. I don't want to hear about it. That topic could burn in hell for all I care. It could be blown off the top of a mountain and smashed to smithereens on the bottom. I have a bigger charge ahead of me, and it's not that. And for all who might listen to this that want to put emphasis on your ability to belong somewhere other than in the blood, have at it. But you and I will never see eye to eye, and we will never have a good discussion about anything because I do not care about your point of view. I don't want to hear your point of view. I don't want to run your point of view down any rabbit holes. I don't even want to try and research your point of view. I do not care about your point of view. Your point of view is irrelevant and worthless to me. It's irrelevant and worthless to me. It's like dung on the bottom of my shoe, worth nothing more than to be wiped or washed off. Plain and simple. Don't care if Jesus was white. Don't care if Jesus was white, black. Don't care if Jesus was brown. I don't care if Jesus was yellow. He bled red. He was distorted for me. It was distorted and destroyed for you. If you don't want it, don't accept it. This subject has been bubbling in my mind for a long time because it's been thrust in front of me for a long time. So I'm addressing it finally. So now that I've addressed it, I hope it never has to come back up again. That's my hope. In any case, I tackled what I was going to tackle tomorrow today. Hold on. I tackle it today. So I'll have to see what he drops for tomorrow. In any event, for those of you who are seeking you know what? You know what? Um, Let me think about this. Hang on. Yeah, I will. I can't stop stupid people from being stupid, Earl. I can't stop stupid people from being stupid. No one can stop stupid people from being stupid. If you want to go follow a different God all of a sudden, not you particularly, but people want to go follow a different God because you think the one that you were talking about was white, then you're stupid. That there's a term for that, and that's stupidity. It's really that simple. I don't care if a Christian goes to go be a Muslim. He wasn't a Christian. Do people not get this yet? If you can be that easily swayed because of the color of a man's skin, you're dumb. You're an absolute fool. You're like one of the dumbest human beings ever. And Biden is walking around. You are dumb. It tells me you never had a relationship with God. Everything about you is superficial. You're going to leave because God, you say, Jesus is white, to go follow a pedophile. That makes any sense? You're going to go join up with a religion that follows a pedophile? Because Jesus was white? You're stupid. Stupid and a half. Stupid and a half. Stupid and a half. But you know what? You deserve the fate, though. You deserve that fate. You deserve the fate. You deserve the fate. For those of you on the true walk, hear me clearly. Your God, who mankind stepped away from in the garden, still saw fit to show you through years and years and years of saving physically his people, meaning the ones he created, to show you at the cross that he was still after you. And that the only way to enter into the right covenant broken by the first Adam was to come into communion with the new Adam in Jesus. If you don't want that, don't take it. But if you want that, awesome. He offers a new life and everything, because if you die to everything, lineage and all. You give everything up that you've identified yourself by your whole life to identify with the life of Christ. That was the purpose of the sacrifice. It's to get rid of the fallen man and to be identified with the risen Christ. Everything dies on that cross. Your line, your lineage, your history, your faults, your flaws, all of it dies on that cross when you've transitioned all of it. You don't bring anything of worth, anything of value, because you're dead. The only thing that you identify by now is the life of Christ. And if that's not what you want, do not call yourself a Christian. You know of God, you do not know God. Last night I was listening to a song, and I know I'm going long, but I want to make sure I drive this whole thing home. And I had not listened to that song in forever. And I partially wanted to hear to see if the way I see God now and the truth of what I see, if it changed the way I heard the lyrics. And it didn't. In fact, it made the song way more powerful to me. I don't know you guys ever heard of the group Phillips, Craig and Dean. It was way back in the day. I think they may still sing. I don't know what their ideology is now, but back in the day, Phillips, Craig and Dean were a big deal. They were, everywhere you went on music, on radio, Christian radio, you heard Phillips, Craig and Dean singing. This was back in the 90s. And this song was one of the most um, epic songs. And this is the lyrics, okay? It's called Your Grace Still Amazes Me. And I still can't make it through the whole song singing without coming to tears. Like it's that impactful because it doesn't say anything metaphorical or anything over the top with a new age. It's just straight truth about who he is. My faithful Father, enduring friend, your tender mercy is like a river with no end. It overwhelms me, covers my sin. Each time I come into your presence, I stand in wonder once again because your grace still amazes me. Your love is still a mystery. Each day I fall on my knees because your grace still amazes me. O patient Father, you make me whole. You are the author and the healer of my soul. What can I give you, Lord? What can I say? I know there's no way to repay you, only to offer you my praise, because your grace still amazes me. And the bridge is it's deeper, it's wider, it's stronger, it's higher than anything my eyes can see, because your grace still amazes me. I choose to focus on the grace of God. I understand my place. I understand my nature was fallen and understand that He gave me a new nature. I understand that my God has ushered in a new life for me to live. I understand that what I was before is no longer who I am in Him. I understand that no matter what my history may have been, my future is not that. And I understand that the life that I wanted to live is not what He has to live for me. I understand that. And so it makes His sacrifice all the more potent. It makes me understand when you see the true nature of what took place, when you fully understand the separation that happened in the garden, when you fully understand the lengths it took for Him to bring about that cross event, you'll better understand God. The devil will throw all kinds of distractions at you, other things to focus on, so that you cannot hear his voice and what he's telling you to go do. It'll also keep you from really allowing God to be the driving force in your doing. And eventually you'll find yourself doing stuff, but you'll burn out. You'll burn out because when you do it, you can only do it for so long. because you don't have real motive. But with Him as your goal, the steam will be there, the strength will be there, the gumption will be there, the urge will be there, because you know of whom you're doing it for. You are God's. And I don't mean you are a God. You are God's. You belong to God. Not Gods, Gods. This walk is not for the faint of heart, the weak, the soft. This walk is for the strong, the lions. And there is a lion walking out your walk. He wants to be that lion in your life, not you, him. Your boldness will come as a result of you knowing him, embodying, allowing him to be what you need. The deed was done, the price was paid, the keys were taken, and they reside in the hands of Jesus. And you can participate in that power by allowing him to live through you. Really is that easy. But if you don't want that, don't want it. It's okay. It really is okay. Feet are easy to dust off. Feet are easy to dust off. Hmm. In any case, people, if you see me tomorrow, it's because I have a topic. If you don't see me tomorrow, it's because I don't have a topic. Because honestly, I was going to go into a whole different phase of things tomorrow, but we went into it today. And I'm kind of glad it all got done in one fell swoop, honestly, because I didn't want to talk about it twice. But in any case, we'll talk tomorrow or so. Um, be sure to check out Too Strong, or the show we did last night if you haven't yet. Um, we may have a new type of format coming up here soon because we got some interesting news. Um, I think I'll just tell you. Um, no, I can't tell you. That's right. We arranged not to tell. Either way, we got some crazy news that we thought something was going to take place and it's no longer going to take place. But it's a good thing, a very good thing, because it solidified some information that we thought we knew. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Amazing. It's amazing. Oh man, when you find out, you'll be laughing like me. You will be laughing like me. Trust me, you'll be laughing like me. It says a lot about when God puts a union together. It's unbeatable. I'm telling it's It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing when he arranges stuff. Oh my gosh, bro. When he arranges stuff, he don't play. He just simply don't play. He 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 ain't got no chill. No chill. Which is awesome. Okay? The more I think about it, the more I think about it, the more I'm gonna just keep cracking up here if I'm not careful. Oh, wow. In any case, we'll catch you guys on the morrow if he drops one in my lap. I love you guys. Have a grand rest of the day. Oh, scrolling at the bottom again, your options. If you feel like using it, use it. If he told you to do something, do something. If he told you not to do it, don't do it. In either case, he's called me to do something, so I'm doing it too. So y'all have a good day. We'll catch up another time. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. Please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die.